In 82 days, the North Carolina Republican Party will be hosting its annual state convention. And on Saturday, March 14th, we got our first indication into how the vote for state GOP chairman might go. In New Hanover County, the establishment candidate, Michael Franklin, was elected county chairman, defeating Tea Party challenger Hank Thomas. I wish I could tell you what the vote total was, but unfortunately that information was not released to me. It seems that the convention committee decided not to release that information to the delegates in attendance either. Now, I was not at the convention, but if I was, you can be 110% sure I would have called for a point of order and forced the vote total to be announced. It's important to me that the vote total be announced because it would show if New Hanover County is leaning towards establishment Republicanism or Tea Party Republicanism. Or the third option, which could be, is it pretty split down the middle? The vote total could be used to see if the Tea Party can actually elect a chairman at the state level. If the vote is a 55-45 split or under, then one should begin making phone calls and get Republicans to rally on the first weekend in June to elect Hassan Harnett as the next chairman of the North Carolina Republican Party. Instead, what happened on Saturday, March 14th, was that both candidates, Mr. Franklin and Mr. Thomas, saw the vote total and then signed off on the number in secret. This is a disturbing change in direction from the Rhonda Amoroso administration, which I firmly believe did a remarkable job in being transparent with people. And overall, I feel that Mrs. Amoroso did a fine job running the New Hanover County GOP. Now, another thing, unfortunately, the endorsement letter from State Senator Michael Lee, which was endorsing Mr. Franklin's candidacy for county chairman, did not backfire, which I thought it would. Keep in mind, Michael Lee decided to vote like a Democrat last month and raise the gas tax in North Carolina. North Carolina already has the highest gas tax in the Southeast. So, quite frankly, I would not believe much of what comes out of Mr. Lee's mouth these days. You, Mikey Lee, decide to raise taxes. So, I think it would be best for you to stay the hell out of inter-party political votes. Another takeaway from Saturday's convention is the concept of groupthink. It certainly existed in the North Carolina Senate when not a single Republican voted against the gas tax increase. Well, guess what? Unfortunately, a lot of convention delegates like to hear party officers, such as the positions of chairman and secretary, get endorsements from elected officials, even if the elected officials vote against the convention delegates' best interest on such issues as, oh gee, I don't know, the gas tax. Ding, ding, dong. Now, the people of New Hanover County made a decision, and they chose Michael Franklin to be the chairman of the New Hanover County Republican Party for the next 2 years. And I want to tell Mr. Franklin congratulations and good luck. Now, this year at the state GOP convention, there will be a chairman's race, and I really want all of you who are going to be delegates at this year's convention to listen to me very carefully. We have one candidate for office who is very, very good. His name again is Hassan Harnett. He is based out in Cabarrus County near Charlotte, and he has worked with the RNC in North Carolina on minority outreach. And he also served as the 2014 campaign manager for the 12th Congressional District, the GOP nominee over there, Vince Coakley. The 12th Congressional District, if you don't know, is the one that's shaped like an S. It's a line that goes right down the Interstate 85 corridor from Durham to Charlotte. And Hassan Harnett is a African American, which is another good reason, because quite frankly the Republicans need to get more minorities into high quality positions. On the other hand, we have a candidate who, in my opinion, is not so good. His name is Craig Collins. Now you'd be asking, wait a minute. What about Claude Pope? Well, it's a good question, really. Claude Pope, I did not vote for him in 2013. I voted for Jack Brosh, and I still think that I made a good decision there, and that's a whole nother video I can do on that whole thing. I don't want to go into the vote from 2 years ago right now, but what I do want to tell you is that when you look at North Carolina, listen, we defeated Kay Hagan, okay? And look, I didn't particularly like Tom Tillis, but guess what? I voted for him. He won. We defeated Kay Hagan, and Claude Pope was an important part of that. I think we lost, what, 1 seat in the state legislature, so we kept our super majorities in the House and the Senate. And, oh, by the way, southeastern North Carolina finally, for the first time since the Civil War, elected a Republican to represent them in Congress. So now we have 10 Republicans versus only 3 Democrats representing North Carolina in the United States House of Representatives. Okay, so you would think right there, gee, maybe Claude should run for re-election. Well, guess what? Claude, it seems, was actually shown the door because, and I'm quoting now, this is a quote from the Daily Haymaker publication, the powers that be felt that Claude did not do nearly enough to tout Governor Pat McCrory and his agenda. Claude didn't cheer loud enough for stuff like corporate welfare, raising the gas tax, and expanding Medicaid. So in the eyes of someone Raleigh, he had to go. End quotes. Now, the baffling thing is that Claude did not want to defend Pat McCrory on his agenda, which I think is a good thing, because none of the principles of corporate welfare, raising the gas tax, or expanding Medicaid is conservative. And none of those 3 things are things I feel a Republican should ever be for. Okay? But just when you think Claude Pope is about to walk over to Tea Partyville, he says, wait a minute, I gotta get back here and endorse Craig Collins, because after all, in the Pope McCrory family, the turkey just ain't gonna taste very good if Claude Pope doesn't do his nephew or cousin or whatever the family relationship is a favor in endorsing Craig Collins. Okay, now it was funny. On the very same day I got the email that Craig Collins was running, he touts that he's got all these endorsements of elected officials who are lining up to endorse Craig Collins. It says here that he's got the endorsement of U.S. Senator Richard Burr. The guy who said defunding Obamacare is the dumbest idea he's ever heard of. Then we have U.S. Senator Tom Tillis, a guy who likes them toll roads that a lot of people in North Carolina hate. Governor Pat McCrory, that's one. Oh boy, I could talk to you for 3 hours on how bad McCrory's been for North Carolina. Then we have Lieutenant Governor Dan Forest, a man who I went door to door in my precinct campaigning for him. And I really thought he was going to be a good conservative all-star. But unfortunately, he has been more of a nice guy, more of a pushover for Pat McCrory. What an epic disappointment he's been. And frankly, if I had to make that decision over again, I should have voted for the more establishment Dale Falwell. Oh boy. And then it gets better. U.S. Congressman Patrick McHenry also has endorsed Craig Collins, the man who voted to fund Obamacare. And also he is one of 75 Republicans who decided to fund Obama's lawless amnesty. Also, we have State Senate President Phil Berger. Phil Berger, the guy who actually initially proposed the gas tax increase. And then we have State House Speaker Tim Moore. So, there you have it. The establishment has all their ducks in a row. They want Craig Collins, and I hope that you have listened to me today. Also, listen to my buddy Chuck Suter's video. It's on his Facebook page or constitutionalwar.com for more information about the chairman's race. Watch that video too, okay? Please, I urge you, okay? Please vote for Hassan Arnett. Stop listening to these elected officials who do not always have your best interest at heart. Yes, I'm a Republican. Yes, sometimes elected officials do good things for us. But when they time and time again do bad things for you, as they have in North Carolina, you need to stand up to the plate and tell them no more. Greetings, everyone. It's time for another countdown to convention video. That's right. The convention being the 2015 North Carolina Republican Party Convention. And I think that you will find this year's convention is going to be better than ever. Why do I say that? Well, look, go ahead and take a look at the agenda for this year's convention. You will find some notable changes. More business time. That's right. I'll say it again. More business time. As it stands right now, the breakout sessions are going to be on Friday morning from 11 a.m. till 1 p.m. Okay? And Saturday is going to be, there's going to be a 3-hour morning session from 9 to 12. Remember, in past years, what happened was Saturday morning they would have a session from 9 to 10, and it would just be the judges that represent the state of North Carolina on the Republican ticket and the various candidates for judge spoke. But this year, from 9 to 12 on Saturday morning, you're going to have a business session. And then, of course, the usual Friday from 1 to 7. And Saturday afternoon from 2 to 7, you're going to have the business sessions. So, there are a couple nagging things, though, that still kind of bother me about the convention schedule. One is they usually will put, they don't put anything that says they don't have a disclaimer on there. What they should have is a disclaimer that says, due to the complex nature of convention business, the dinner may or may not start at 7 p.m. It should be an approximate time, or they should push back the dinners to 8 p.m. Another thing is the Sunday Executive Committee meeting. In my opinion, it's at a very poor time. It's at 10:30 a.m. And what happens is Sunday morning you have a prayer breakfast at 9 a.m. And I'm all for prayer breakfast. Believe me, I'm a Christian, okay, and I believe in that. The thing about it is a lot of people will, after they have breakfast, will want to leave the convention and skip the executive committee meeting. So my proposal is that we move the prayer breakfast from Sunday morning to Thursday evening, okay, at 7 p.m. And the executive committee meeting should get started about 8 or 9 a.m. Okay, have maybe a 2-3 hour max meeting, get some business done, and then people can be on their way on the road by 12 and back to wherever in the state they live by dinner time that night. So that is the convention agenda. Another thing I want to talk to you about is the chairman's race. I've been reading a lot of things on Facebook, a lot of things on the Daily Haymaker blog that A.J. Dowd is a rumored candidate for state chairman. And I like A.J. a lot. I like him a whole heck of a lot more than Craig Collins, that's for sure. But we already have a principled conservative run for chairman. His name is Hassan Arnett. Okay, so if A.J. Dowd gets in there, he's going to split the vote. Okay, just like Mark Harris did in the U.S. Senate race last year. He split the vote between Brandon and Tillis. Okay, so my suggestion for him, if he's watching or any of his close friends are watching, is please encourage him to run for vice chair, because right now we have Carolyn Justice is the only candidate running for vice chair. And really, I like Carolyn as a person, I really do. She voted for Newt Gingrich over Mitt Romney in the 2012 presidential primary. That will certainly always have carry a lot of good respect from me to her for that. But she really isn't very well liked by a lot of the Tea Party and the more libertarian wing of the Republican Party. And we really need a solid candidate. Now, other options that I think will be good for the vice chair race are from District 3. I really like the current district chairman over there, Kim Cotton West. Be a great choice. Her or her husband, Harvey West, would be good, as well as Maddie Lawson, who has tried now, I believe, two or three times to be elected to the state legislature, and each time the Republicans actually sabotage her race because she is so conservative. She isn't a rhino like some of these knuckleheads like Michael Lee of New Hanover County. Okay, she would be a great choice, and she would definitely shake things up in the North Carolina Republican Party for a good reason. And you know, the establishment would certainly she would actually be one of those people who wouldn't what's the word? She wouldn't roll over and play dead for the establishment. I guess that's what I'm saying. So this again is another convention pre-game video. I hope you enjoy this. Please feel free to comment, send me an email, let me know how you like the video, if you have any questions about anything also. So yeah, bye for now.